Welcome back to WagerTalk.com. Let's shift gears. Go to Sunday, the first game, NFL playoff action. It's Jacksonville at Pittsburgh. It's playoff time. Yes, I've got the Steeler tie out. We're ready for the playoffs. This is a revenge game for the Pittsburgh Steelers. This is going to be Preston's best bet. Ralph, I'm going to go to you. Last week's Buffalo-Jacksonville game, I think it set back football like 20 years. I'll be honest. I had a big play on Jacksonville. I come up a point short. I literally fell asleep in the first half of that game. It put me to sleep.
I was watching film of Harvard Yale 1902. It looked about the same, yeah. But you know, in this game, I just think you're seeing Jacksonville, a team that got where they are because they played the weakest schedule in the NFL by far. I mean, they are number 32, but they would be number 44. They're that far lower than the next best team. I think now you're going to see them play competition on the road. There's only one way for me to go. I mean, I lean with the under, I lean with the favorite, but I just don't see a team that has 15 first downs and 75 pass yards at home, you know, ready to play against the Buffalo squad, be able to go into Pittsburgh where we know their offense is so much better because Ben can audibilize and run his fast-paced offense.
Yeah, well, they did play earlier in the year, Preston, and Jacksonville embarrassed the Steelers at home, almost put Ben Roethlisberger into retirement, if you remember after that game.
There was an article that came out.
And 5 interceptions in that game. You know I'm a big situational handicapper. In that game when it took place, you know, Preston, you do radio shows. Ralph, you do radio shows. Every radio show I was on that week, I said, don't go anywhere near the Steelers this week. They have a tendency to play down to the level of the competition. They're coming off their arch rival playing Baltimore the week before where they beat the snot out of Baltimore. It was a huge game for the Steelers, and they had undefeated Kansas City on deck. And they had Jacksonville in the middle of that sandwich. That was a sandwich of all sandwich games. Unfortunately, Ben throws 5 interceptions. Not all of them were bad throws. There were some tip balls in there that ended up resulting in interceptions. But it was an ugly game for the Steelers. I don't know why they didn't run the football in that game. That's the mystery to me. They were going against Jacksonville, who that is the one weak link on this team. They've shored it up a little bit the second half of the season, but at the beginning of the season, you could run right down the throat of Jacksonville, and the Steelers didn't.
Yeah, about halfway through the season, they were dead last. I think they ended up 25th or so in opponent yards per rush attempt, but that was playing the weakest schedule in the whole league. And it's interesting. My favorite stat from that game isn't the 5 interceptions, but it's that Pittsburgh, and I didn't look to see the last time this has happened, but Roethlisberger threw 55 times, which is just insane. I'm sure if he has thrown that many times before, they lost those games. It's obviously correlated there. They have extra time to prep. They're going to be smarter about it. They're going to run the ball. They're not going to throw 55 times. They're just the better team anyways. My number, I think, was close to 9. It was like an 8.8 or something. So getting, my best bet is -7. I know it's -109 at Pinnacle, -111 at Chris. So anything in that range is good. It's -110 in town. And I actually found a -6.5 that I laid -120 to get the hook there. And if it does land 7, hopefully cash a win. But I think it sets up great for that kind of like revenge factor like you're talking about too. It's just an added bonus. You're not going to quantify the fact that they got crushed and embarrassed in week 5 as being worth a bunch of extra value here. I like it because of the number, and I think the coaching edge, and honestly, half kidding, but like Blake Bortles, like that could have been the whole video, just Blake Bortles, and we cut, and that was it. It's hard to back that guy, and he wasn't. You tried. The defense gave up 3, and you still couldn't cover an 8. It's like a couple games now that he's. Oh, the other thing I wanted to say, I think I saw a stat about it on Twitter. I wish I could reference who it was. They've faced Alex Smith and then 2 other kind of rushing quarterbacks who Bortles has kind of turned into this runner because he's only throwing for 70 to 80 yards. Pittsburgh had, I guess, it was a fantasy stat, but they were the best containing what you would call mobile quarterbacks, if you even want to call Bortles one. So I don't think that's going to be an issue, which is kind of what Buffalo struggled with last week. So, I mean, I think everything lines up to Pittsburgh, and, if they lose it, it happens. Sometimes it's still gambling, but I think -7 is definitely still worth it.
The game plan for Jacksonville last week, if I had known the game plan, I wouldn't have laid the points. And you still, when you only give up 3, you think you're still good. Yeah. But they played not to lose that game. Their game plan wasn't to win. It was not to lose the game. They never put him in a position to, take down everything. Most of the passes were short passes right around the line of scrimmage. hit a quick one that, maybe you can break a tackle, and they just weren't doing anything. They didn't let him go downfield. I can't disagree with anything there. The last point I want to make that backs your Pittsburgh, this is probably going to be a blessing in disguise for the Steelers moving forward. The Antonio Brown injury, where they played 2 weeks without him, what it did is made the Steeler offense even better now that when he comes back this week for this game. Because now the role players, Juju, Martavius Bryant, Eli Rogers, all of those guys got significant playing time and got catches in game situations where now Ben has confidence, to look off Antonio Brown if he's covered with the double covered and hit these guys. I think it's going to make the offense better for him being out. We see that, we used to say that about San Antonio in the NBA when Pop was resting all these guys. What it did is made his bench deeper when he got to the playoffs because those guys had significant playing time when it meant something. And I think that's what's going to help the Steelers, in a potent offense already, be even more potent going forward. So can't disagree with you there, Preston. Preston says to take Pittsburgh. And guys, don't forget, each and every Monday at WagerTalk, it's Manic Monday. You can get any play on Monday for just $9. Great way to get a discount on plays. Check out a new capper or get your favorite capper for just $9. It's Manic Monday each and every Monday. Don't forget, you like these videos, hit the thumbs up button, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and be sure to share it with your friends. We'll be back with more here at WagerTalk.